Welcome back to another episode of the FPL Sheeple Podcast. COVID has ravaged the English Premier League, and a lot of teams have had their matches cancelled. All the talk of this week was about trying ways to have a team of 11 players in the Fantasy Premier League who will have a game, and not all were in the same boat because not all the teams were all not all or not everyone had the same teams or players, which is why we have the title for this week's episode as Are We in the Same Boat? My co-host Carling could not make it today due to his personal commitments, but you have me, Donatello, who's going to be carrying this episode. So, as the episode title suggests, or is titled as "Are we in the same boat?" I think it was a good title to have because of some of the discussions that were going around on Twitter, suggesting fantasy Premier League players to calm down because everyone's in the same boat because not all the players were featuring as a lot of teams have had their matches cancelled. I feel that not everyone is in the same boat because um, not everyone has the same team, not everyone has the same template or same set of players you know which have played and provided points to everyone. So there are players or there are FPL managers who've had only 5 to 6 players feature in game week 17. Well, there are some like me and Carling who have had almost 10 or 11 players or their entire team play for game week 17. So it's unfair to say that we're in the same boat because we aren't. There are a lot of managers who are trying to play seriously and are not able to make most of it because unfortunately the matches got cancelled last minute and they couldn't do anything about it. And to rectify the situation, it would mean they would have to take a lot of hits which would damage their total score and their rank. So I feel that not everyone is in the same boat. We need to play this game with patience and my recommendations based on what I've been reading and reading about how to approach the next few game weeks is to just take everything um, extremely patiently because by avoiding like really early transfers. Not that there is any chance of early transfers this game week because it's just a gap of 1 day. But for the upcoming game weeks, I would recommend just wait till the last day uh, of the transfer deadline to make any changes because you don't want to be in a situation where you've already made changes and that match has gotten cancelled because the team was infected or like affected by COVID. So yeah, so that is the general talk of FPL Twitter over the last couple of days. Moving on to our podcast, we're going to start with Game Week 17 template team review as always. So this week's template team was 4-5-1 with Antonio being the sole forward and uh, Ramsdale being the goalkeeper. Two City defenders, two Chelsea defenders, two City midfielders. I'm sorry, and then the Liverpool trio of Trent, Salah, and Jota. And then I've seen Gallagher and Livramento in there as well because it's again because of a lot of matches being cancelled. The point of the template team is to show, based on the 20 content creators that we follow, the point of the template team is to show where Carling and I stand in comparison to the template team of the 20 content creators, and to see which players we own and which we don't, and to plan to get in some players which are essential to give us points and grow in rank. So as you can see, um, Carling has 9 out of 11 players from the template team, and I have 7 out of 11 from the template team. So Carling is almost 80 or 90% template, and I am almost 60 to 70% template. So that's the whole point of us, comparing ourselves with the 20 content creators and the template teams that team that we have generated from their entire 20 teams. So yeah, so the template team this week was the reason why a lot of players got above average points. And as I'm going to discuss later, it is the reason why um, a lot of players grew in rank. So, moving on to our points. First, starting with Carling's points, he got 68 points this game week. He didn't take any hits. Only made one transfer, which was Ollie Watkins in for I think it was Antonio or someone else. I don't remember. But yeah, he got in only one player and really repaid him well with those 12 points. So overall, yeah, he got 68 points, game week rank of 505k, and his overall rank shot up to 165k, which is really good. Um, as I pointed out earlier, he has 9 out of 11 template players, and out of the 9 players, 7 players were extremely key. And if you have to have them in your team in order to be above average in the rank, is what we feel after looking at this data for like almost 17 weeks now. So he's had the crucial 7 players in that template, which has propelled him to 68 points. And of course, the only differential was Ollie Watkins, which repaid him with 12 points. So overall, a great week for Carling, who got 68 points. And moving on to my team, I had an even better week. I got 79 points, but I took a hit, so 75 points total. So my game week rank was 76,000, and my overall rank shot up again, touching 100k, 101k. I also had pretty much the same thing as Carlings, with the exception of the goalkeeper. I didn't have Ramsdale, but I had De Gea. So essentially, I had only 10 players feature out of my 11, which is what I was talking about being in the same boat. I almost, uh, thanks to the players in my team, I didn't suffer the brunt of not having all the players feature. But again, I also had some lucky, some luck that helped me. I had 2 players, or like one player who was on my substitute. It was Broja, who got 12 points. He was my second sub, and only because Tottenham's game got cancelled. He was auto sub in, and I got 12 points from him. So overall, I got for 24 points from my 2 forwards, and the rest team is pretty much same as Carlings, with the exception of Smith Rowe, who also chipped in 6 points. So thanks to some luck, I ended up with 79 points, 75 counting the hit. So that was really helpful in putting me back on near to 100k in rank. Moving to the next section, we always discuss who the winner for game week, for that particular game week, is based on our 20 content creators. And this week we had to dig deep to find the winner, because we've already had a lot of content creators who had featured on the podcast. And this week's winner, Brandon Kelly, was probably 6th or 7th in rank with 65 points. And this is his team, which helped him get 65 points. I think it's pretty template again, with the exception of Mendy, um, and Watkins and King. It's pretty template. I think he owns White, and he also had 10 plays out of 11, because King did not feature. He also had 10 out of 11 play. So but overall, 65 points, which is really not bad, and it's above average because he has that crux of that important template players in his team. So Brandon Kelly, our game week 17 winner, and we're going to discuss more about him featuring on the pod, which is kind of to the theme of today's episode. I'll discuss that more in a few minutes. But moving on to the next part, which is the create a spreadsheet that we create every week. The main point of this spreadsheet is to look at the 20 content creators that we are following for this podcast, along with both of our teams, mine and Carling's team, in the mix. and look at how each week these content creators rank um, according to their game week points. And also, if you scroll to the right of the spreadsheet, which we also supply with the podcast on a Google Drive link, if you scroll to the right, you will see a list of all the players that the content creators teams have, and if you um, and you will see who their captain was, and you will see as you move to the right, you will see less and less players who were featured in the content creators teams. So that gives you an idea of um, how their teams are made and what players are helping them get those additional points that boosts their rank. So this week's creator spreadsheet, as you can see, late riser was on top with 82 points, 78 with the hit counting, and we had to go for Brandon Kelly, uh, who was, I think he was like seventh or eighth in rank, excluding my name in. So the point of this spreadsheet is for you to, as the audience, to download and look at the template team of the 20 content creators, and to identify the template team and also some differentials which will help you grow in rank. So you can download it from the link that we supply on YouTube. So you can look at it yourself and make inferences from it. Moving on to the the next section, which is the creator spreadsheet takeaways that we do every week. It's basically what I've observed from the spreadsheet, um, and and points that I'd like to highlight for viewers and listeners. So as I pointed at the start, the template was strong this week. You had to have certain set of players in your team in order to be above average in points, and some differentials to help you, like Ollie Watkins and 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 Broja and Martinelli, to help you get that additional boost. So um, basically, the template was strong. The You had to had certain set of players, you know, for you to be in the boat, basically. And then I also like to identify certain differential players, um, from the content creators teams. So starting off with Broja, who was only in my team, which was hilarious. But I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if he would be he gets picked by more content creators in the future, because he has cheap valuation and is delivering for the last couple of game weeks. So Broja 12 points. Ollie Watkins, I forgot to name him in there, but he got 12 points as well. So he was in a few teams. And then the next is Martinelli, who got 7 points. He featured in a couple of content creators team. Jacob Ramsey 10 points. Had a great game week against for Villa. Also found in I think one or two content creators team. And then finally Connor Cody was in one team. He got like 8 points. Um, so those were my differential picks, which I found from the spreadsheet. Um, then Carling's takeaway, as usual, would be about the range of the points. So if I go back to the spreadsheet here, you will see that the range of the points this week was from 44 to 82, which is almost twice the number in range. So that's quite a lot. And there are quite a few content creators who are bang in the middle. And there are some who are at the top and the bottom, and that's because they are missing certain set of players, um, which from the template team, or some differentials which could have helped them get that additional points. So those were my takeaways for this game week. Moving on to the next section, the creator of the week. We've already seen it was Brandon Kelly, but unfortunately, Brandon Kelly, who is the co-host of the Always Cheating podcast with Joshua Landon, they did not put out a podcast episode this week. We reached out to them on Twitter, and I checked with him if he was going to put out an episode, but he said it doesn't make sense for them to put out an episode because um, you know it's pointless. It's just this game week 17 and 18 are so cramped up that there is no time for content creators to just generate content for the next game week, because um, partially because there is an certainty around the remaining matches. As of now, there are 5 matches that are scheduled for Saturday and Sunday, but you never know what would happen if the Football Association decides on Saturday morning to cancel all 5 matches. Then that's the end of it, and you can't do much about it. So many or most of the content creators have decided not to put out their podcasts or any content. This week, Carling and I have decided to just wing it and use our own thought process, and use our own research to identify players which can help us get points for game week 18, and also make sure that we have 11 players on the pitch. So the creator of the week for game week 18 is FPL Sheeple because they've decided to do this on their own for this game week. So next, moving on to our teams, starting with mine, I have decided to make 2 changes. First of all, I decided to swap De Gea for Ramsdale because De Gea has no match this game week. Ramsdale has a match against Leeds, so it was an easy switch. And then I've decided to take another hit this game week because I feel that I need to have Foden in my team. So I finally swapped Son for Foden. It was a tough decision for me, but I made that call because I needed to have all 11 players on my team. So swapped in Phil Foden. I have Salah as my captain and Foden as my vice captain. I'm going with a 4-5-1 formation with Ollie Watkins up front is my only striker, and then a loaded midfield of Foden, Jota, Bernardo, Salah, Smith Rowe, and then the usual backline of Trent, James, Alonso, and Cancelo. So that's going to be my team for game week 18. Similarly, moving on to Carling's team for game week 18, he has decided to attack the game week. So and to stay in line with that theme, he has decided to swap in Alexander Lacazette for Jamie Vardy, and he also has taken a hit to get Foden in as a replacement for Gallagher. So pretty much same team as mine, with the exception of Lacazette and probably Smith Rowe, which who I own. So those are the 2 changes that Carling has made. He has also made the same Salah captain and Foden vice captain. So he's gone with the 4-4-2, the usual backline of Trent, James, Alonso, and Cancelo. His midfield is also Salah, Foden, Bernardo, Jota, and forward line is Watkins and Lacazette. So 4-4-2 for Carling, and both of us have Ramsdale as the keeper. So interesting choice with Lacazette. Hope it pays off with Arsenal, with the way he played last match. It was incredible. So hoping that Carling reaps the reward of Lacazette in his team. And finally, game week 18 fixtures. As you can see, it's a very depleted fixture line. We only have 5 fixtures because the Football Association cancelled the rest of the 5 fixtures to ensure that players recover from COVID and get back in shape, and then can have regular matches from the next game week. So there are only 5 matches. Carling and I are in complete agreement because I was in charge of this, and I made sure that Carling agrees with whatever I've written here. No, some only I think the main matches which are on Sunday is Spurs versus Liverpool, which I feel Liverpool is going to win. Spurs have had a long break in the last couple of weeks that can play to their advantage, but Liverpool in their current form is just playing outstanding. So I'm hoping for a 2-0 victory. And then Chelsea, Man City, both of us are going for easy wins. Arsenal win as well, and then Aston Villa win as well. So Yeah, basically, that's the end of it. As I said, this is going to be, or this was a very short podcast that I decided to put out because Carling had some pre commitments to look at, and then we decided we wanted to put out something, um, um, uh, just to to maintain consistency. And then I am hoping that all the 5 matches do take place. We will have and we get some football for the weekend, and hoping that all the players who are suffering from COVID recover soon, and all the teams are back in shape, so that the game week after we will have full 10 matches. And then also the good part is, because so many matches got cancelled, we're going to have some tremendous double and triple game weeks, so that is something to look forward to. They're not going to happen this year, next year for sure. So um uh, yeah, looking forward to that. And yeah, thank you for listening. Do follow us on YouTube. If you like our podcast, please hit the subscribe button, it helps us a lot. And then we're also available on audio podcasts and on different platforms such as Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and then we are on Twitter with the handle at FPL Sheeple. So do follow us for some banter and tweets here and there. And so this is all. This is all for this game week. Over and out. Good luck to everyone, and we will catch you in the next game week. Thank you.